One's ready. One's ready. Go!
Welcome back to the One's Ready podcast. This is your daily drop for the 5th of June, brought to you by Atakaleet. If you head over to onesready.com, then go to the right-hand side where it says prep and then partner discounts, scroll down to the second one where you're going to see Atakaleet. If you're looking for, before I go there, hit any of those links, those hyperlinks, and it's going to take you to Atakaleet's page. Now, what's going to happen is a pop-up's going to come up, and it's going to give you a 10% discount code that you can use for any rocket fins, ropes, high-volume masks, snorkels, Alice rucks, smart watches, all that kind of stuff. Anything you need equipment-wise to help you get ready for the pipeline. And then, like I said, you'll get a discount code and all that kind of good stuff. All right. Starting off with the joint news, General Kane urges collaboration with tech innovators at AI conference. General Kane emphasized the Defense Department's need to collaborate with emerging tech founders to enhance AI capabilities in the U.S. military. He stressed that peace depends on innovation and determination, urging the Pentagon to improve its acquisition process to integrate new technologies effectively. Yeah, we've talked about this many a times and completely agree. Next, the Pentagon delays Navy's next-generation fighter program to prioritize F-47. Yes, that's a massive win for the Air Force. The Defense Department delayed the Navy's $500 million next-generation fighter program to focus on the F-47, citing risks with sixth-generation fighters. Both the House and Senate support prioritizing the F-47, with the Senate also reallocating funds away from the Navy's FAXX program. CENTCOM, AFRICOM, and SOCOM leadership changes announced. General Dagvin Anderson and Navy Vice Admiral Frank Bradley were named the lead U.S. Africa Command and U.S. Central Command and U.S. Special Operations Command, respectively. Looks like there's a name that I either left out. Sorry, I left out a name. These changes follow prior leadership roles, including Anderson's time at Special Operations Command Africa and Bradley's role in Joint Task Force Courts. All right. The U.S. pushes NATO allies to meet 5% GDP defense spending goal. U.S. Ambassador Matthew Whitaker urged NATO allies to increase defense spending to 5% GDP, a target many struggle to meet. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte noted that allies failing to meet this goal will face capability gaps and new defense targets. Completely agree. The U.S. cannot bankroll all these countries like we do continuously. Like, something's got to give, and everybody wants to start talking about paying fair share. Well, I think 5% of their GDP is a fair share. Pentagon concerned over Ukraine's drone strike capabilities. The U.S. military leaders expressed concern over the Ukraine's drone strikes, questioning the U.S.'s ability to counter similar attacks. Air Force Chief of Staff David Alvin and others emphasized the need for adaptive systems to address modern battlefield threats. This is Air Force specific news. Ukraine drone strikes highlight U.S. Air Force vulnerabilities. The Air Force Chief of Staff David Alvin warned that Ukraine's Operation Spiderweb drone strikes expose U.S. vulnerabilities, particularly in the air defense sector. Senate leaders stressed the need for increased military focus on countering drone threats to protect U.S. interests. Yeah, it's a real problem. Next, Air Force Special Operations Command names new enlisted leader. Chief Master Sergeant Courtney Freeman was named the new senior enlisted leader for the Air Force Special Operations Command, succeeding Chief Master Sergeant Anthony Green. Freeman emphasized readiness and professionalism, while Green's assignment is under investigation due to a loss of confidence. We have talked about that before. I don't think we've talked about it in a daily drop. I think we talked about it on a normal episode, but there's a lot of speculation and a lot of kind of wait and see what happens regarding Chief Anthony Green. Next, Cannon Air Force Base welcomes new commander for National Defense role. Colonel Robert Hamilton Jr. took command of the Cannon Air Force Base, emphasizing its critical role in national defense. He highlighted the base's history with 27th Special Operations Wing and its importance to U.S. Special Operations Command. Okay, cool. Next, Colonel Sonia Morrison reflects on leadership of the 185th Refueling Wing. Colonel Sonia Morrison, outgoing commander of the 185th Air Refueling Wing, reflected on her tenure in Washington, D.C., emphasizing the wing's success. She noted the importance of empowering airmen at all levels to ensure readiness for the future. I can't believe that this one and the one above that we just talked about at Cannon, I can't believe that made it into public affairs noteworthy things to send out. All right, World War II pilot honored 82 years after heroic crash rescue. Army Air Force's First Lieutenant Charles W. McCook was posthumously, honored for saving a fellow airman after a B-25C crash in 1943. McCook, who died in the incident, served with the 22nd Bombardment Squadron and supported the Allied forces in China-Burma theater. Well, man, hats off to you, man. Next, Space Force news. Space Force faces rising costs for commercial launch contracts. The Space Force awarded a $4 billion contract to Jacobs Technology for commercial launch support, raising concerns about the cost management. Brigadier General Kristen Hanzinghagen, sorry if I'm messing up your name, ma'am, stressed the need for financial improvement and audit readiness to maintain congressional trust. Next, Space Force demonstrates rapid GPS-3 launch capabilities. The Space Force showcased its ability to accelerate GPS-3 launches, a key lesson from the Rapid Response Trailblazer mission. Colonel Andrew Minchner, sorry, sir, and Ann Mason emphasized the importance of compressed timelines and flexible satellite programs for future missions. Yes, flexibility is the key to air power and space power. Of interest, Senate adds billions to the Air Force programs in GOP spending bill. A Senate GOP spending bill allocates $26 billion for Air Force programs, including funds for the F-47 fighter and collaborative aircraft initiatives. Despite House support, the bill faces challenges due to differing priorities between the chambers. I'm assuming that this is the Build Back, or not the Build Back Better, the Big Beautiful Bill, right? Which is a hot piece of garbage, by the way. And every single Republican that voted for it should be ashamed of themselves. U.S. faces vulnerability, that is in my opinion. The U.S. faces vulnerability to drone strikes similar to Ukraine's. Experts warn that Ukraine's drone strikes targeting Russian bombers and submarines highlight U.S. vulnerabilities to similar attacks. The Defense Department is urged to adapt its strategies to counter evolving threats from strategic adversaries. Bill addresses long-term PFAS exposure at military bases. A bipartisan bill in the House designates PFAS exposure at military bases as a service-connected condition, aiding veterans with disability claims. The Defense Department identified 718 bases with PFAS contamination, estimating a $9.3 billion cleanup cost. Boy, I don't know how you guys feel about that. That just means that a whole lot of people are going to start claiming VA disability stuff for this. And some of it will be true. And the percentage that is going to be fake is not 0%, that's for sure. NATO official warns of delayed defense spending goals. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte indicated that some members may not meet the 2% GDP. Some members may not meet the 2% GDP defense spending target until 2036, focusing instead on capability goals. He emphasized the need to counter China's influence in Indo-Pacific amid uneven allied commitments. Ukraine responds to Russian drone strikes with robust defenses. Ukraine's defense minister reported strong defenses against Russian drone attacks, despite unverified casualty numbers. The country remains prepared to support NATO allies, though 40 Russian aircraft were destroyed in the ongoing conflict. Next, Canada prepares for potential conflict by 2028 through 2030. Or 2020, between 2028 and 2030. The Royal Canadian Air Force is urged to prepare for conflict by 2028 through 2030 to counter Chinese and Russian aggression. Brigadier General Brendan Cook highlighted risks like potential Chinese invasion from Taiwan or of Taiwan and Russia's rapid military buildup. All right, last one. GPS blackout could cause global chaos, experts warn. Of course it would. Like everything runs off of GPS now. The GPS blackout would disrupt global transportation, communication, and defense systems, leading to widespread chaos. Experts noted that aviation, navigation, and military operations are particularly vulnerable to such an event. Of course, and that doesn't include, EMP, solar flares, and all that kind of stuff. So it's not just GPS, it's all of the kind of energy power structure. So anyway, that's it from here. See you.